Some legends are born, some legends are made. But once in 1,000 years, a legend arrives who rewrites the very rhythm of the world. A boy who danced before he could spell his name. A man whose heartbeat became the heartbeat of the planet. And an artist who tried, desperately tried, to outrun time itself. This is the story of Michael Joseph Jackson, the man who wanted to live 150 years, and still lives today in ways the world never expected. He was born on August 29, 1958, in Gary, Indiana, the 8th child of the Jackson family. A house packed with 9 kids, music-filled nights, and a father whose discipline was sharper than silence. Little Michael, at just 5 years old, stepped into rehearsals like he had walked onto the stage of destiny. His voice wasn't just a voice. It was a shockwave. Joseph Jackson saw the spark. Katherine Jackson saw the soul. And Motown Records saw the gold. Michael joined the Jackson 5 in 1964, when most kids were learning the alphabet. And within a few years, the world knew his name. At 11 years old, he performed on national TV, hypnotizing America with I Want You Back, ABC, and The Love You Save. These weren't songs. They were warnings. The world had no idea what was coming. By 13, he had already launched his solo career while still performing with the Jackson 5. By 14, he was one of the youngest black artists ever nominated for a Golden Globe. By 15, he was touring the world. And by 16, he had performed for crowds larger than the population of his hometown. But destiny wasn't done shaping him. In 1979, something happened that would change everything. A dance injury, a broken nose, a surgery that made breathing difficult, another operation to fix it. And yet, he kept dancing. He kept chasing perfection, because perfection was no longer a choice. It was his survival. Then came Off the Wall, a sonic revolution, the album that shattered expectations, earned him his first Grammy, and whispered a promise to the world. This was only the beginning. And then the earthquake hit. 1982, Thriller, the best-selling album in human history, unbeaten, untouched, unthreatened. 7 top 10 singles, a record-breaking phenomenon, and a 14-minute music video that turned MTV from a channel into a religion. He moonwalked for the first time in 1983 during Motown 25, one step backward that pushed the world forward decades. People screamed. People fainted. People collapsed without even seeing him. This was not fandom. This was worship. The world crowned him the King of Pop, a title he never asked for, yet one he carried with unbreakable grace. But behind the fame, the cameras, the diamond-studded jackets, a man was quietly breaking. The Pepsi commercial accident in 1984 set his hair on fire, causing second-degree burns and beginning his lifelong relationship with painkillers. But he did something extraordinary. He donated the settlement money, $1.5 million, to a burn center. His heart was bigger than his fame. And that heart carried him into the next era. Bad, dangerous, history. Each album a thunderstorm, each tour an earthquake, each performance a miracle. He broke records, then broke them again. He became the first artist to have Billboard #1 hits in 5 consecutive decades. The first to earn 8 Grammys in one night. The first entertainer to sell out 50 shows at the O2 Arena in hours, years after people said he was finished. He bought Neverland Ranch, not as a fortress, but as the childhood he never had. A place with a zoo, a theme park, a movie theater, and silence. Sweet, fragile silence. But the world did not let him keep that innocence. Accusations arrived. Storms rose. A trial that lasted years. A verdict that proved him not guilty on every single count. But even truth cannot always heal damage. He retreated. His skin condition, vitiligo, spread across his body, forcing him to change how he lived under sunlight. Dermatologists, nutritionists, sleep experts, bone specialists, Michael had a medical team for nearly every part of his body. Not because he was weak, but because he refused to let weakness slow him down. He monitored his food carefully. He hated alcohol. He avoided junk food. He checked his meals in labs. He practiced dance routines for hours, even when pain screamed through his joints. He wanted to live strong. He wanted to live long. He told his close circle he wanted to reach 150 years, not out of fear, but out of love for the world he was creating. But his body was tired. Stress, insomnia, chronic pain, a lifetime of pushing beyond human limits. And then came June 25th, 2009. The world stopped. The news broke like lightning. Michael Jackson was gone. Cardiac arrest, Los Angeles, age 50. The world did not believe it. People searched his name so fast, so hard, so relentlessly, that Google crashed. Literally, the most powerful search engine on the planet did not survive the wave of grief that swept across humanity. TV stations switched to full-time coverage. Streets filled with crying crowds. Radio stations played Man in the Mirror on repeat. The Apollo Theater covered itself in flowers. Twitter recorded the highest traffic in its history at that moment. Millions poured onto the internet. Millions lit candles. Millions said goodbye to a man they never met, yet somehow knew their whole lives. His memorial at the Staples Center became one of the most watched live broadcasts in history. Over 2.5 billion viewers. 1/3 of the planet. But death did not stop him. It only changed the address of his legend. Since 2009, his music sales skyrocketed. His estate became the highest-earning deceased celebrity year after year. New albums were released. His videos crossed billions of views. His influence shaped artists from every continent. Children today dance the Moonwalk without ever knowing the name of the man who invented it. That is immortality. He broke barriers no one dared to cross. First black artist dominating MTV. First pop star treated with the same reverence as Elvis and the Beatles combined. First entertainer recognized globally on the same level as world leaders. He changed sponsorship deals, stadium tours, music promotion, and cultural identity itself. He donated over $300 million across his life, helped HIV research during a time when the world refused to talk about it, visited orphanages secretly in every country he toured, cried for sick children backstage before shows, helped victims of wars, famines, disasters, without cameras, without credit, without applause. He once said, "If you enter this world knowing you are loved, and you leave knowing the same, everything in between can be dealt with." But his in-between was anything but ordinary. He built a musical dynasty, a cultural empire, a humanitarian legacy, a spiritual echo, and a historical footprint that even time cannot erase. He gave us Beat It, Billie Jean, Smooth Criminal, Earth Song, Black or White, You Are Not Alone, Heal the World. He gave us a reason to believe magic was real, a reason to believe one person could move the entire world, a reason to believe art can survive the body that creates it. And today, decades after he moonwalked across the stage of history, his presence still lingers. In every stadium chant, in every dance class, in every glove, every fedora, every military jacket, in every artist who whispers, "Michael inspired me." This is not simply a life story. This is a myth carved into reality, a symphony written in human form, a man who wanted to live 150 years, and in many ways already has. Michael Jackson did not die on June 25, 2009. He multiplied into hearts, into memories, into movements, into moments, into the very soul
of music itself. And so, as the curtain falls, one truth remains. Kings may rule kingdoms, but only one man ruled rhythms. Michael Jackson, forever the king of pop, forever the child who never stopped believing, forever the legend who danced beyond time.